So I took a lot of time to sit down and really evaluate everything about this move. I did my homework on this move. I talked to teammates and other people involved that have spent time with Charlie Morton. So many people have spoken highly of him, and I'm serious. A lot of people going, man, great clubhouse guy, great guy to learn from, very easy to talk to, handles himself very well, family man, goes about his business the right way. And some people might look at that as unimportant. I look at it as something that's extremely valuable. You want to set a culture, you want to have people that come into your building, into your place of work that are going to do the damn thing. And that is be a leader, show up, do their job, and do what is expected of you. And then beyond, try to help out other people. Setting a culture. Setting a culture is so important. So that's number one. Number two with this signing, and this is again, when I first looked at it, you're going, man, it's a shock. There's a shock to it because I did think, all right, there's the Max Scherzers, there's the Justin Verlanders out there. But then you're kind of looking at of the three, I go, man, this makes a lot of sense. So let's dive into it, shall we? So of the three, let's look at the Scherzer, Verlander, and Charlie Morton. Uh, the two that have had the most health concerns, and again, all around the same age, has been Scherzer and Verlander, guys that have struggled to stay healthy. And then you're actually curiously wondering, are they going to be a liability and are they still going to have it? It's that twofold. Now, Charlie Morton being up there in age, does that mean that he is going to be safe of injuries? Because as you get older, it's just naturally your body's not going to function as it usually does. Well, yeah, of course. That's one way to look at it. But I was looking and digging around here. Charlie's been like the level of consistency that you want. And even at his age, the numbers aren't falling off. The durability isn't falling off. It hasn't for his career, especially over the last 7 years. So allow me to pull up a little bit of Charlie Morton stats here for you guys because that's what I like to do here. All right, here we go. So when we're looking at this is Charlie Morton's career. Okay. So if you're looking at it again, everyone that starts off their career, there's going to have some bumpy roads as you try to figure it out, right? 2008, 2009, 2010, woof, right? That's just the way it is. And honestly, 74, 90, 97, 79 innings respectively. And then, a little bit up and down. But then when he got to Houston, right? Because this is really the important part for me. He got to Houston in 2017. They won the World Series that year. ERA at 3.62. He had 146 innings. But then look at this trend after this. That was his lowest amount of innings in a full season because here's COVID in 2020. And you're looking at a guy that has given a minimum since 2018 full season 163 innings. And over this time frame, sub 4 ERA, sub 4 ERA, 3.05 ERA with the Rays, 3.34, 4.34, 3.64, and on an up and down year 4.19 ERA. And here's another part. You guys following me so far? So we're looking at this and you're going, man, it actually makes sense. You're going, damn, was Charlie Morton the veteran that the Orioles always needed? I think the answer is yes. And I'm looking at that myself going, man, how did I miss this? Now, again, I'll preface this. Do I think the Orioles need to make more moves, get another splash? Yes. But if we're talking about, and you guys have heard me discuss this, having a guy that just can post up like this, and you know what you get with him, and he's been around the block, and he's pitched in the postseason, all of that matters significantly, especially when you're looking at a staff that after they lost Kyle Gibson, they didn't have a true leader of that rotation. Corbin Burnes is an ace pitcher. I don't know if I'm classifying him in that same way that Gibson impacted the other pitchers, the way that Corbin impacted the rotation. Corbin was straight stuff, super talented, incredible. Gibson, I think, had more of a impact on the staff in general because of what he could help them with. It's no knock to Corbin, just the differentiation of the players. Okay, you know what also is as what's fascinating to me, because here's the other part, because we're looking at all these guys and going, man, well, the Orioles should have gone out and spent more. And what about Jack Flaherty, the reunion? And some people going, it's not a good fit. Some saying it should be. So I dove a little bit deeper into this, right? So let's share the screen to another part of this. So that's part number one. Welcome to part number two of this little presentation. So let's go down a little bit of ERA stat leaders from last season, because I think this is a really good point. All right. So you're seeing these are the studs. And by the way, Chris Sale, you're telling me people were expecting him to be 18-3 and have a 2.3 ERA with all of those injuries that he had. Come on now. But again, studs. And there's Corbin Burns at 7, 2.92. A lot of great pitchers on this list. Seth Lugo, who was a steal of last year's offseason, 3 ERA, but no one expected him to go 16-9 and have that impact. He was sensational. Jack Flaherty, here there he is, 3.17, great bounce back year. So you're seeing the point here. There's some good names. Sean Manaea, career year, fantastic job for him. Went back to where it made sense for him. All right, this is where it gets fascinating for me. Okay, Eflin, great. But then once we get to here, Evaldi 380 goes back to Texas, has dealt with injuries. Okay. Gosman 383. And then as we keep going right here, this is the name Kikuchi, 4.05 ERA. He just signed a multi-year deal. What was it, 60 million or so with the Angels? 4.05 ERA right there. Innings wise, a little bit more than Morton. How about Pablo Lopez, 4.08 ERA, right? And then here's Charlie, 4.19 and 165, just 10 innings less than Kikuchi, 20 left than Pablo. Chris Bassett, another guy that people are really interested in. Charlie Morton had a better year than Kyle Gibson. And what about Mitch Keller, a popular name who I really like? But it just goes to show you. So, like, my point is the one thing that scares people away with Charlie Morton is age. And I get that, 100% get that. We haven't seen anything from Charlie Morton over this time frame to believe that. Could it happen? Sure. Does he deserve the benefit of the doubt because he has been sturdy as hell and durable and consistent? You're damn right. So when I'm looking at all this, yeah, the 15 million makes sense because of what the market's going to be like. But you can also look at Sagano now and Charlie Morton as helping be in these stop gaps, guys that you hopefully can have eat up innings. The younger pitchers like Povich can develop. And then I said it on Twitter here already. And people don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. It's the facts. The Orioles in 2025 go as far as their young core, their nucleus of the team develop. It doesn't matter if you add a frontline starter, doesn't matter if you add more bullpen pieces. That alleviates pressure from a team, no doubt about it. But those guys got to take a step. And if they do, they're going to be really good. They're going to be really good. But that includes not just the offensive bats. We're not talking about Jackson Holiday. We're not talking about if Jordan Westburg continues to be a stud. He's going to be. Colton Cowser taking that next leap. Does Heston Kjerstad, if he's with the team, continue to do what we saw before he got the concussion? Adley bouncing back. Gunnar Henderson playing like an MVP. All that adds up. But then don't forget about Dean Kramer and Grayson Rodriguez, along with Cade Povich. But Grayson and Dean, to me, Grayson has the makings to be an ace, and Dean has the ability to go against any lineup. I would even compare, like, Dean could end up being like a Charlie Morton. But Dean is going to have to continue to figure out how he works and how he pitches. That's going to take time. But could I see something like that for Dean? Yeah. So it's always, that's just my approach. Now, I do think a move is in the works. I do think we're going to see one more. But if you're able to look at this, the Orioles are actually in a pretty good situation. And you make one more big move, whammy. This Orioles team, it looks a lot better on paper. But once again, it just depends on how your guys play. If the young nucleus plays well, everything's going to elevate.